how you can implement that, what benefit it's going to be to your company. So a lot of those things like that. My name is Rich Hathaway. I am the Director of Business Intelligence Solutions for Ad Systems. I've been working with business intelligence and information delivery for over 25 years, and this is one thing that I'm very passionate about. I love working in this industry. I love helping folks to take all that data, get it to the people in their organizations, and really be able to make a difference within their business. As we go through the webinar today, if you have any questions, you'll notice in the GoToMeeting there's a chat area that you can send the chat. You can put your questions in the chat and go ahead and send those over. At the end, we're going to have a little bit of time for some questions and answers. If we don't have enough time to get to all of your questions, make sure you put those questions in there anyhow. We'll be happy to follow up with you. On the screen, everyone should see my email address. I'm more than happy and excited to be able to get an email from any of you. If you have any questions, if you want to go in a little deeper dive, I'd be happy to chat with you after the webinar and answer any additional questions that you have. So with that, we'll go ahead and get into this. Our agenda for today, again, we're going to talk about a little bit what is business intelligence. We hear all kinds of things about reports and analytics, so we're going to talk about the difference between business intelligence and reports. We're going to talk about what features a BI solution should include. We're also going to talk about how having a BI solution in place can really benefit your business. What are the things that it can help you with? How can it make a difference for you? And then we're going to talk about the approach of how you get started. If you haven't done anything with business intelligence yet, how you get started, how you get that implemented, and you get moving forward. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Business intelligence, as I mentioned earlier, I've been doing this for probably over 25 years. I've worked with many different technology tools behind the scenes, many different clients in many different industries. And it's interesting as you talk with people about business intelligence, you could ask 100 people, what is business intelligence? And you're going to get at least 90 or 95 different answers about what business intelligence is. But what I've found, and as I've gone through my years of working with this, when you talk about business intelligence, it's really a set of processes and technologies that allows you to take all of the data that we have in our computer systems, all this data that we're gathering all over the place, and turn that into actionable information so that people throughout all levels of your organization have the information they need to be able to make decisions, to be able to help your business to run smoother, to be more profitable, all of those things. That's really what business intelligence is. So it really is it's much larger than a report or anything like that. And we'll talk about a little bit more about that. But one of the things with business intelligence, somebody is, again, if you guys could please mute your phones, and then we won't have any of that feedback. That's great. So one of the important things that I've learned throughout the years with business intelligence is that you need to understand that business intelligence, it's a business project. I'm reminded of a story. It's one of my favorite stories. There was a battleship many years ago. It was on maneuvers in the Atlantic. And early one morning, it was very, very foggy. The pilot was up in the wheelhouse of the battleship, and they're cruising along, and up ahead he sees a light, and it's on a collision course with him. So he immediately notifies the captain. The captain comes up to the bridge and he says, signal that light up ahead of us and let them know that they need to change their course 10 degrees to the starboard. So the signalman sends the signal out. A signal comes back and it says, you change your course 10 degrees to the port. So the captain's a little frustrated. He says, send this message. He said, I am a captain, change your course 10 degrees to the starboard. The signal comes back and it says, I am a seaman first class, change your course 10 degrees to the port. So now the captain is really quite upset, and he says, send this signal. So they send a new signal. It says, I am on a battleship, change your course 10 degrees to the starboard. And the reply comes back and it says, I am in a lighthouse, change your course 10 degrees to the port. So it's an interesting little story, but what I've found is that most business intelligence projects, that are not successful, they fail because the organization thinks the business intelligence is just a set of technology tools and it's run by the IT department. So the real important thing is that BI, it's a business project. It's a combination of technology and processes and people. And we need to make sure that the business is running that project. The technology folks, they're important. It's important to have them there, but we really need to understand what we're trying to accomplish from a business perspective so that we can be successful implementing business intelligence. Another thing that's very important with business intelligence is you hear the terms data, you hear the terms information, and those are not necessarily the same thing. So we talk about data all the time, and nowadays we have so many large and expensive systems that collect mountains of data. I mean, to bring a little bit of perspective to this, in the late 1960s, the Apollo lunar missions, they used a command module computer that was designed at MIT. It was built by Raytheon. The guidance computer was more basic than most of the electronics in today's toasters. So it had approximately 64 kilobytes of memory. So basically what that means is that they had, my 17-year-old daughter with her smartphone has the ability to store 500,000 times more data than the computer that guided the astronauts to the moon and back safely. So data and information, they're often used synonymously, but they're not the same thing. So data loves to pretend like it's information, and many people are fooled. But when this happens, our organizations suffer. We have many people that they spend excessive amounts of time moving numbers from one spreadsheet to another. Think about your organizations. Do you have people in all of your different departments that spend a lot of time trying to gather data from one place, and then they bring it over and put it into a spreadsheet and gather some other things from somewhere else, and they write a bunch of macros and do a bunch of things? You know, they're spending all this time because we're working with data. We're not necessarily working with information. So there are many, many organizations in the business world today that are using data to try and support their decisions in place of empowering their organizations by using information to drive their decisions. So those are some really important kind of foundational things that we need to know and understand. Now, when we talk about BI, BI and reports, and people will use those terms interchangeably, we need to understand that just reports are a part of business intelligence. Business intelligence, as I mentioned, it's a huge process that involves people, it involves the business, it involves technology, and there are lots of different pieces of that. So let's talk about a BI solution and what different features, what parts of a BI solution should you have. And there are lots of solutions out there. There are lots of tools. There are lots of people that are providing solutions or will help you build reports, all those kind of things. But you need to make sure that you understand, what these pieces are, why they're important. So the first thing for a BI solution is a data warehouse. What a data warehouse is, it's a database that's designed specifically for reporting. We've got all of our systems out there, our back office systems, our CRM systems, our payroll systems, our GL systems. All of those are transactional systems. Those are designed for people to put information in. You think about that, your back office system, you're entering in information about your customers, you're entering information about deliveries, products, prices, all of those kind of things, your inventory. Those systems are all designed to get the information in. A data warehouse is a system that's designed to get the information out, and it makes it much easier to get at the information and really turn that data into the information. So the next piece of a BI solution is what we call the ETL software. That stands for extract, transform, and load. And basically all that means is it's a set of software that takes the information from your source system, your back office system, for example, and loads that into the data warehouse. Many times it needs to transform that because the structure of the data warehouse is completely different. So that's what the ETL software is, also a very important part of a BI solution. The next thing with your BI solution, you need to make sure that it has wide data source support. Now what that means is that you want to be able to bring in information into your data warehouse and into your BI solution from many different sources, many different locations. In your data warehouse, you're going to want information, again, from your back office system. You're going to want information in there about your inventory, your deliveries, your service contracts, price plans, all of that type of stuff. You're going to want information in there from your payroll system. You may have budgeting information that's stored in a GL system or maybe even in some Excel spreadsheets. You want to be able to bring that information in there. So you want to be able to have support in your business intelligence solution for data coming from a wide group of sources, so that you've got all the information in your BI solution that you need to be able to run your business, so you can create the correct reports and information delivery tools to get the information that your folks need to be able to run your business. The next thing, a BI solution, important part of a BI solution is the security. With the BI solution, you've got lots of information about your business, information about your customers. You need to be able to have that information be secure. And when you're talking about a BI solution, there's a number of types of security. A couple of the things that are key, of course, is access, first of all. How do you give people access to the solution? Is there a login? Do they have user IDs and passwords? Can you restrict which types of reports and dashboards and those type of things that users can see? You might have a set of executive dashboards that have got some real high-level information. Maybe they've got some financial information. You don't want your drivers, delivery managers, customer service representatives to see all that information. So you want to make sure that your BI solution allows you to exclude those users from being able to see that type of information. Another type of security is what we call row-level security, and that's where you can actually put security on the data within your data warehouse. So, for example, maybe your organization is broken up into divisions, and you have some customer service representatives that only work in a certain division. What you want to be able to do is set it up so that when they run a report or look at a dashboard, they're only seeing the data for their particular division. So security is a really important thing, and there's a lot of, we could spend a couple of hours just talking about that. But that's something that you really want to make sure that your BI solution includes the ability to secure your data. Another thing is how you access and interact with the information that's available there in your BI system. You really want to have a web-based solution. This allows you to do a lot of different things. First of all, you're bringing in information from many different sources, so you don't want to have to log into, for example, your back office system just to be able to run all of those reports or look at those dashboards. You may have folks that are looking at dashboards that are receiving information from your business intelligence solution that never even get into your back office system. And so you want to be able to have an easy way for those folks to be able to get at that information. So having a web-based solution is key to a business intelligence solution. In addition, it allows you to be able to access information even maybe when you're not in the office. You log into your VPN and you can still get that. You don't have to have your APGL system installed on your laptop or your tablet or wherever that is. You don't have to have your back office system installed there. You just get in from your browser. So a web-based solution is key these days for a business intelligence solution. One of the next pieces is scheduling. Scheduling is so beneficial, so very helpful when you're talking about business intelligence solutions. And what this allows you to do is to basically tell the business intelligence solution that I want this information and this is when I want it. Maybe I've got a report or some information that I want to see every Monday morning at 7 a.m. And I don't care where I'm at, if I'm traveling or where I'm at, I want to be able to have that information. So with the BI solution that's got scheduling, you can go in and set that up and say, hey, I want this every Monday morning at 7 a.m. and I want it sent to my email. And so that's a really key thing, that because one of the things with the business intelligence solution, we want to make it easy to get information into our users' hands, into all the important folks in our organization at all different levels. We want it easy for them to get all the information. So scheduling is key. Another piece that some business intelligence solutions may not include, but it's very, very important, is intelligent alerts. And now what an alert is it's similar to a report, but it's a little bit different. What an alert can do is basically you can tell the business intelligence solution what you are looking for. So maybe, for example, when folks are setting up customers in your back office system, sometimes they set up the pricing incorrectly. Maybe they put the wrong price code in. And so what you could do is you could have your business intelligence solution look for those instances when a customer is set up incorrectly. And then what would happen is as soon as that customer is set up incorrectly, the system is going to recognize that, hey, that customer's got the wrong price code. That price code shouldn't be assigned to a customer that's in that division. And so it will immediately send a message to whoever you deem necessary, the important folks there, to get that alert. It will send them a message and say, hey, we've got a customer that's set up incorrectly. And you can set those alerts up for really any of the data that's in your system. And that's key, because then, for example, with that pricing issue, you can identify that and take care of that right away, instead of later on after the customer's already received a delivery. Then you have to deal with a customer complaint. There's a bunch of other things. So intelligent alerts, being able to schedule those and have your system look for things in your data, that's a really key and important part of a business intelligence solution. The last thing we're going to talk about with features of business intelligence solution is multiple reporting options. And we're going to go into a number of these types of reports. When we talk about all these features, again, there's a lot of business intelligence tools out there, a lot of companies that provide tools that will allow you to create data warehouses or create reports. And there are also a lot of companies out there that may have some data warehouses already created, can help you bring in some of that information. It's really key that you understand all of the important parts that you need in a business intelligence solution, because not every solution out there provides everything that you may want or need. So when we talk about the reporting options, first of all, with a business intelligence solution, you're going to want to have operational and ranking reports. Now, what an operational report is this is what people think of when they've thought about reports for years. This is a lot of your back office systems and transactional systems will have some of the operational reports in there. It's great to be able to have these in your business intelligence solution, because again, then you can schedule them, you can have them delivered through email. There's lots of options that you would have that you may not have in your back office system. But operational reports they usually tend to be grid reports with data on them, things that different folks in your organization need on a daily basis to be able to do their jobs, check prices, salespeople might need a price sheet so they know what the current price is of all the different products as they're going out to meet with their potential clients. So that's an operational report. A ranking report is a little bit different. Here's an example of a ranking report. This is looking at liquid product transactions. And what this is allowing us to do is to be able to rank each of these transactions by the profit per unit. So you can see this one is ranking it both by a sort, where we've got the ones with the best profit per unit at the top of the list, but also it's using a heat map, which basically shows the best profit per unit with the green and the worst profit per unit with the red. So ranking reports are really excellent because they allow you to very quickly look at a bunch of information, transactions, different things like that, and be able to see which ones are good and which ones are bad, which ones do we have to worry about, and which ones are going okay. So operational and ranking reports, you want to make sure that you've got the ability to have those in your business intelligence solution. We also want to be able to do trend and period comparison reports. This is really a key. You don't usually have this type of functionality in any reports that you're getting out of a back office system. But what this allows you to do is look at information over time and see, how are we trending? Are we improving? Are we not improving? Are we expecting different things, like, for example, in the heating season or not in the heating season? How are we doing with customer gain and loss? Do we have more customers this year than we had last year? Are they all buying fuel from us? And so these type of reports are really great because you can look at gallons this year, month to date, compared to the same period of last year. So you can really get an idea of how things are performing. And there's lots of different ways to display trends and period comparison. But you want to make sure that your business intelligence solution allows you to have trend and period comparison reports in there. The next thing that we have is dashboards. You hear lots of talk about dashboards. And dashboards are key. They're a really important part of a business intelligence solution, as long as you implement them properly. Here's an example of a dashboard. This is a delivery analysis dashboard. And what this does is really quickly, you can look at this and can provide you lots of different pieces of information. Here we can look at our drivers. We can look at how they're ranking with their stops per hour, their average units per hour. We've got some information about actual deliveries, what products we're delivering, our best customers, who's receiving the most fuel, We're looking at deliveries that we're delivering that are less than a certain percent of ideal. We want to identify those because we don't want to go out and waste a lot of time for our drivers and miles on our truck. We've also got here, for example, an average drop percent last 7 days. And you'll notice that in the bottom left here, the average drop percent, we've got last 7 days, month to date, year to date. And for each of those, we've got a red, yellow, and green. That's what we call a KPI, or a key performance indicator. So one of the things on dashboards, you can have dashboards that have lots of cool little charts and pie charts and all kinds of things like that. But being able to have the ability to have a KPI, which is something where you can take a measure, for example, average drop percent, and then you can tie with that some goals. So in this case, there's a three-part goal that basically says if we're below this number, that's bad. If we're in between this number and the next number, then that's okay. But if we really want to be above this last number, and that's where the green is going to show. And so you can set those up. If your business intelligence solution allows you to do the dashboarding and the KPIs, you can set those up. So very, very quickly, when you look at a dashboard, you can see how are we performing based on our goals or based on our targets that we want to set up. Are we in the green? If we're in the green, that's good. If not, we want to be able to, from the dashboard, drill down to the details. So for example, if we wanted to see what's going on with our average drop percent, we want to be able to drill down, and then we're going more to an operational report or maybe a ranking report, so we can see, all right, well, how have our delivery drops been? And then we can maybe even drill down even further so we can get down to each individual and actual delivery so we can see what's happening within our business. So dashboards with the ability to have the KPIs, the goals, the thresholds, and the ability to drive down to the details of what's making up those high-level visualizations. That's a key part of a business intelligence solution. The next thing that we have is ad hoc and self-service. These two terms, some people use these interchangeably. They're really a little bit different. What an ad hoc report is, basically, is you want your business intelligence solution to provide you the tools and the ability to be able to create your own reports. You may have folks within your organization that have some really good technical skills. You may have folks that are excellent Excel users. Somebody that's pretty good with Excel should be able to create quite a few reports going against your data warehouse, and they can even create some dashboards and some visualizations if you provide them the tools. And so you want to make sure that your business intelligence solution is providing the tools to be able to create your own reports. Those are ad hoc tools, so you basically are creating your reports. And then you want to make sure that once you create that report, that it's then available in your business intelligence solution, that it ties in with all the security that you've got built into your solution very easily. You don't have to jump through a lot of hoops for that. So that's the ad hoc piece, allowing you to build your own reusable reports or dashboards. And then there's the self-service piece. Self-service is really a tool in a business intelligence solution that allows business users that don't know anything about really the technology. They don't have to know how to write any SQL queries or go after the database or any of those type of things. It allows them to just look at the data and be able to drag and drop and easily create reports, lists, charts, any of those type of things. So the self-service tools are really tools that allow you to explore your data and be able to kind of play around with it and look at different things. They're great tools for business analysts and for executives that want to get in there and be able to look at their data without having to write any queries or expressions or any of those type of things. So ad hoc and self-service, again, very important pieces of business intelligence solution. So now, again, we've talked about a lot of pieces here. There are a lot of other pieces. If you've got questions about any of those, please put those in the chat. If you want to get in touch with me later, talk about more details about dashboards or any of those type of things, please feel free. I'd love to chat with you about that. We're going to move on a little bit here and talk about why a business intelligence solution. Why do you want to spend the time and the money and the effort in implementing a business intelligence solution for your company? So there's a lot of different pieces here that we can talk about. First of all, a business intelligence solution allows you to share information efficiently and effectively with people across your organization. You think about the way that we've done things in the past. Again, we've got Steve over here. He grabs data from this place and that place. He puts it into a spreadsheet. Everybody's waiting for him to get that spreadsheet together and then emails it out to everybody. It makes it very difficult to share the information because we're all moving around trying to do things in Excel, and with the business intelligence solution, it's all there, it's available. People can have it delivered to their email address. They can see it in a dashboard. The information delivery and sharing across your organization is so much easier. And that allows everyone within your company in your organization to be able to make better decisions faster. So that's a really key piece of the business intelligence solution. The next thing is the access to data. We talked about that it's important that your business intelligence solution allow you to access data from multiple different sources. And that's really a huge plus because you've got folks in your organization that can easily access the necessary information from all of your disparate sources, your payroll source, your budgeting source, all of that in one place. It's a key benefit that really makes a huge difference in your business intelligence solution. The next thing is it allows you to reduce labor costs. You think about all the time that we spend in our businesses today actually just being data entry clerks, taking data from one system and keying it in somewhere else. Taking data from someplace and putting it into a spreadsheet, creating macros, creating pivot tables, then emailing that out and combining different things. But when we get rid of all of that, bring all that into the business intelligence solution and allow it to combine all that information and just deliver the information to the users, we're saving lots and lots of time for many people within our organization that then allows them to actually do their real job, be a dispatcher, be a customer service representative. One customer that we worked with just outside of Pittsburgh, they had a sales sheet that they put together every night. They basically had an individual that would stay late, so they made sure that they got all their pricing information in, all the posting had been done, and then by 6 o'clock at night, they tried to have this price sheet that they would put together, and it took them about an hour and a half each day to gather all this information, get it into this spreadsheet, get it formatted properly, and then they would email that out to their entire sales team so that their sales team would have that for the first thing the next morning and be able to use that when they went out to make their calls to their different clients. We helped them to gather all the information that they needed. It was information that was coming from multiple sources, put that into their data warehouse. And then we basically scheduled reports to run every night that went to the salesperson. So no longer did they have this individual having to spend an hour and a half each day gathering the information. And also they didn't have to scramble when that person went on vacation to find somebody else to do that. And so it's a really key part of the benefits of a business intelligence solution. It really allows you to spend much less time being data entry clerks and much more time actually doing the jobs that are going to make a difference for your business. Also, a business intelligence solution will help you to reduce your information bottlenecks. So the BI system, like with the self-service, the ad hoc, it allows users to get in there and actually have access to the data, actually be able to run the reports when they need them, create reports when they need them, look at the data when they need it, instead of everybody lining up at the one person that knows how to get in and run an ODBC query against the database. Everybody's lined up at their desk or their cubicle and waiting and waiting to try and get the information they need to be able to run the business. So a business intelligence solution really brings the information to the masses and reduces those information bottlenecks. The last general benefit that we're going to talk about is making the data actionable. You think about your organizations today. A lot of organizations, we have folks that are getting way too much data, reports that are just pages and pages and pages of data there. It's really not turned into information. And maybe you get a listing of all of your new customers that you've entered into the system in the last week. And you have to go down through that entire list to see, is everybody set up with the right tax flags? Is everybody set up with the right price code? Something like that. Whereas with the business intelligence solution, you can create some alerts, and then you no longer have to scan through hundreds of lines of a report. You have the system looking, and it will identify for you any any issues that come up that need a user to be able to take action on that. So making your data actionable, it's a really, really key piece of a business intelligence solution. It enables your folks to be able to spend a lot of time doing what you really hired them to do instead of being data entry clerks. So really important thing. Let's talk a little bit about our industry itself and what a BI solution can do for us. Let's talk about our drivers. There's lots of metrics and measures that we use for our drivers to be able to look at how they're performing, how many drops per hour are they doing, how many gallons per hour. There's lots of different metrics that we can use. With the business intelligence solution, we're able to easily gather that information so that we can easily rank our drivers, and we can look and so we can see who's struggling, who might need a little bit more training, who might need a little bit more help, those type of things. A lot of companies that I'm working with nowadays are using technology to create and schedule deliveries. So they're using routing and mapping software. And we spend a lot of time and money on these routing and mapping tools to be able to create these delivery routes. But you may want to be able to look at that and say, okay, I've created all these routes, but how are we actually delivering them? Are my drivers actually delivering the routes in the order that we've created them? So a business intelligence solution, you can use geospatial maps, which is a different types of reports, or basically geography type reports. And you can look at how did the driver deliver the route? Which places did they go first? Did they go on route or were they off route? And if they went off route, then we can follow up with them and find out why did you go off route? And so we can evaluate the drivers. We can also evaluate our routing and mapping system. So a lot of things we can do with the BI solution as far as driver productivity, delivery productivity, which is key. We want to be able to make the deliveries as productive as possible so we can be efficient and more profitable. Another area that is key for us in our particular business is pricing plans. So certain times of the year we're looking at, we can spend a lot of time gathering a lot of data to find out who do we want to market our pricing plans to, who do we have that's not on a pricing plan that we feel like they should be on a pricing plan. So we can use a business intelligence solution to go out and identify all of our customers that aren't on a pricing plan that should be on a pricing plan. Who do we have that's been a customer for a number of years, that has got so many gallons? Maybe we want to market to those customers and see if we can move them over to a pricing plan, those type of things. So it really can help us with our marketing. It can help us, we can review the pricing plans and see how effective they were, and see if we need to make any changes. So that's another key area that BI can benefit our businesses. Another area is with CRM. At Ad Systems, our back office system provides some CRM functionality to be able to track customer information. So CRM, I'm sure many of you know what that is and have used that. A lot of companies may use third-party CRM companies. But what a business intelligence solution will allow you to do is to bring in all that information from your CRM package, and then you can evaluate and track how you're interacting with your customers. So you may have, in your CRM system, you may be keeping track of customer complaints, customers that need help in certain areas, and so you might say, okay, we need to follow up on this. Your business intelligence solution can allow you to easily track and see, have we followed up on all of the complaints that we've got? Have we resolved all of these things? Also, people will use their CRM system to track some of their marketing efforts. Maybe, for example, your marketing that you're doing towards existing customers to try and get them on a plan price so that you can keep them as customers and not have them be as high of a risk. You can track that in your CRM system, and then you can use your business intelligence solution to say, how well did my marketing plan go? Out of all these customers that I approached to go on my plan price, how many of them actually went on the plan price, and then how many of them are actually getting deliveries, and how many gallons are we using? So business intelligence solution can really help you track a lot of things, for example, with CRM. And there's so many other benefits that, especially for our industry, that there are with business intelligence. Again, if you've got any that you'd love to chat about, send me an email, give me a call, we can talk more about that. Let's move on to the implementation. So business intelligence solutions and systems and reporting, this can become very overwhelming when you think about all of the different things that you need to do. And so what I like to tell people is that we need to take the crawl, walk, run approach. And what that is that I've seen throughout the years that many BI projects fail because the team that's tasked with the design and the development of the solution, they fail to recognize that a BI solution is really an evolutionary process. So you think about your information, your organization, and the information that you need today. It might not be the same information that you needed a year ago. It may not be the same information you need 6 months from now. So maybe, for example, right now our company is focused on increasing driver productivity. But once we've focused on that, we've got some information delivered, we're able to track that and to measure that, and that driver productivity is increasing and that's doing well, then it's time to go on to the next area of concern. What else can we do to improve? And so the information needs change. So we've got to understand that to be successful in business intelligence, we've got to think big, we've got to start small, and we've got to deliver quickly. And by that, what I'm talking about is, thinking big. We need to have a vision for our BI solution. This is where, again, it's key that the business is involved because we need to know where do we want to get to? What are we using this BI solution for? Is it just to create a couple reports, or do we really want to use this to empower our business to become more profitable, to be able to run smoother, to get information to the right people when we need it? So we need to, when we think big, we need to make sure that we have the proper foundation in place and that we're building everything with the big picture in mind, with the vision in mind. So while we have this vision of where we're going, getting there, it's like climbing a mountain. We've got to do it one step at a time. So each step that we take gets us a little bit closer to the top. And we do that by starting small. We select a specific department or an organizational area, for example, the driver productivity. And we focus on that. We make sure that we've got all the tools and the information getting out to the users and the expectations are communicated so that we can really use the information to make a difference. And then we go on and move to the next thing. So it's a constantly evolving and changing process. And as we begin to deliver these things, if we chew up little teeny pieces and we're able to deliver these quickly, folks are going to be impressed. They're going to have the information they need, and they're going to want more. So it's going to be a continually growing and evolving process. So when you're thinking about implementing a business intelligence solution, one of the key things is to really understand how you go about doing that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of different tools. Microsoft's got tools. Cognos has got tools. Business Objects has got tools that you can use. You may not have a development staff on board to be able to use all those tools to create a data warehouse and those type of things. There are partners available out there, just like climbing a mountain. If you go and you're going to climb a new mountain, you've never been on that mountain before, you're probably going to hire a mountain guide that knows the right trails, that knows how to keep you safe, and get you to the top of the mountain. There are lots of people out there that have some experience with business intelligence. You want to be careful. You want to make sure that you pick the right mountain guide, a team of people or organization that both knows the technology of business intelligence, how to create the reports, the data warehouse, all those types of things, but also really understands the mountain. Have they been there before? Do they understand your industry? I've seen a lot of BI projects fail because companies will spend many dollars bringing in consultants that understand the technology, but they don't know anything about the business, so they really don't know how to implement the business intelligence solution. So finding the right partner, taking it a step at a time and moving forward is really key to be able to get that business intelligence solution implemented and running in your organization and be able to be successful with that. So with that, we're about 45 minutes or so in. I want to leave a little bit of time for questions. And looks like Ted's audio is fixed now, so I'm going to turn the time over to Ted. Ted, if you got anything else you wanted to say, and then if you've got some questions you want to field, then that would be great. Again, if we can't get to all of your questions, you've got my email address. Ted can get you that information also. Be more than happy to have outside discussions with any of you and answer any questions that you've got. So, Ted, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's a good step. I apologize for the mix-up for anyone that was on the call right at 9 in regards to the delay of getting this started. But real quick, my name is Ted Harris, and I'm with the Pennsylvania Petroleum Association, and I just wanted to thank Rich and Ads for volunteering to do our initial webinar series here. We do have another one happening on October 12th, which will also be done by Ads in regards to tank monitoring. So with that being said, we had a couple questions come in through the chat, and I'm just going to get into a few of them. And like Rich said, if we don't get through all of them, he can follow up with you directly. So first one we got, I'm a small organization and this project seems geared towards a larger company. Is that the case?
That's a great question. And I hear that a lot because people look at this and say, I'm a small organization, this seems expensive. And really, again, I've been doing this for years, and what I've learned is that it's, and this may sound a little cliche, but you can't afford not to do a business intelligence solution. And really, when you look at it, they don't need to be that expensive. If you're a smaller organization, then definitely you're going to want to work with a partner that's already got a data warehouse built, that's already got some canned reports, dashboards, those type of things. It's going to be much cheaper for you to get involved and really get some usable business intelligence tools in front of your users quickly. And then there's a lot of things that you can do, even though you're maybe a small company, to really make that business intelligence solution yours. There's one company that I've been working with in the petroleum industry out in the Midwest. They have no developers on staff. They've got a few folks that I would call pretty good at Excel. They're not experts by any means, but I've been amazed at watching them. I go and get onto their system, and when they got a question, I'll look at them, and they're creating all of these amazing reports. They're able to create these alerts and do these different things, even though they're a small organization. And it's amazing that the difference that it's making. They're actually spending much less time than they used to at working with data and trying to gather that information, and they've got much more time to actually be able to take care of their customers and do different things. So just because you're a small company, don't automatically think that you're going to be priced out of the market. There are lots of different options that you've got and lots of things that you can do, and you really can't afford not to be able to have some of these tools as we're moving forward that are going to make you more competitive, more profitable, and be able to run your business in a much smoother manner.
Very good. Thank you, Rich. Next question we got in. Should I buy BI software from my back office vendor, my current back office vendor, or is it okay to search for a different vendor?
Again, another great question. Obviously, it's okay to go whichever way you want. I may be a little bit prejudiced here, of course, but really the key here is that whoever you're going to use, whether it's a BI solution from your back office vendor, if they've got a true BI solution that provides all of the features that we've talked about, or you're going to go and work with another company, you want to make sure that you're using folks that, again, understand the technology of business intelligence, but also understand the business and the process of business intelligence. I've seen, as I mentioned earlier, I've seen many companies that have failed, and when I say fail, they basically spend a lot of time trying to implement a BI solution and a lot of money trying to implement a BI solution, and actually get to the point where they finally just shut it all down because it's not working. And the reason that I've seen most of those failures is because they invest in money in the tools, and they pay some folks to come in and help them with the tools, but they don't have anybody that really understands their business. And so what they develop is not, you provide that to the users and they say, well, that doesn't give me the information that I need. And people get frustrated. So if you've got your back office vendor has got a BI solution that has those features, they've got the expertise in the business intelligence side of things, as well as the business side of things, then you're way ahead of the game right there. So I would definitely recommend looking in that direction. But you got to do what's right for your company. Again, if anybody's got some specifics that they'd love to discuss, give me a call. I'd be happy to chat with you about it. So.
Very good. Next question. Could you elaborate more on BI in regards to reporting on expenses, rent, utilities, and other general data costs that are coming in?
Definitely. So, like I mentioned earlier, one of the important parts of your BI solution is that it needs to be able to bring in data from multiple different sources. I like to call it being source agnostic. BI solutions should not believe in one single source. So things like payroll, if you really want to look at your delivery costs, how much is it costing me to service a customer? You think about that, you've got your truck that's driving out there, you've got the driver that you're paying their payroll for, you've got the fuel, you've got maintenance on the truck, you've got all of these different things, and they might not all be stored in one place in your back office system. Some of that information, like maybe your maintenance fees for your vehicles, maybe that's coming from your GL system. So having the ability to bring in information, data from other sources into one place, if you've got all that into your data warehouse, then just think about that. You've got all the information about the deliveries that were made, the driver that made the deliveries, the truck that was used to make those deliveries. You've got all the information about the maintenance for that truck, licensing fees, all of those type of things, and you've got that all in one place. You can then have a report or a dashboard that shows, which of my trucks am I spending the most money on? Which of the ones am I, which of my drivers are being the most profitable? And so it's just so important to be able to bring in all that information. When we run our organizations, all of our data is not in one system. We use multiple different systems, and to be able to really evaluate what we're doing within our business using a business intelligence solution, we've got to be able to have access to all that data working together. So it's just super important. I can't overstate the importance of that. So.
Very good. Next question. We have a system in place today that is collecting some information, but not everything, all the data points that you covered. Could you please give some recommendations on how to expand that current process?
You call me. Call me and I'll talk about that. That's one of those things where it's really interesting, and you've got to look at that and say, first of all, a business intelligence solution can't give you information about something that the data isn't there. So the first thing we have to do is we have to look at that and say, okay, is the data available in a system somewhere? Is it in our back office system? Is it in our payroll system? Is it in our routing and mapping system? Is the data that we really want to be able to analyze or look at, is that available? And then once we know that it is available or where it is available, then we can look at how do we make that accessible through the BI solution to the users. So it might be that you've got that information in your back office system. All you have to do is to be able to bring that information into your data warehouse. So you might need some help you're bringing it into a data warehouse. If you don't have a data warehouse, maybe you need help creating a data warehouse. So it's really a process that you have to go through for each different type or piece of information. We just need to understand where is the information available at, and then if the information is there somewhere, again, it could be in an Excel spreadsheet, it could be in a text file, but if that information is available somewhere, then we can get that information, we can bring it into a business intelligence solution, into a data warehouse, so that you can use that to do the analysis, provide all the information. So that's kind of the steps for that.
Very good. A few more questions here, and then we're going to wrap up at 10. Realistically, what is the time frame to implement a BI strategy in my company?
That varies quite a bit depending on how you're going to go about implementing that. If you're going to for example, if you came to us, if you were a customer of Ad Systems, you've got our back office system, and you said, all right, I want to install your Atlas business intelligence solution, within a week, we could have you up and running, have all the canned and standard reports, so you could really be up and running within a week. Now, if you're talking about building your own data warehouse, starting from scratch, usually what I've seen is it's going to be at least 6 months before you get up and running for one functional area of your business, because you've got to go through all of the business design. What information do we need? Where do we get it from the system? How do we structure that in our data warehouse? So again, like I mentioned before, finding a mountain guide to help you get up the mountain. If you do that, you're going to be able to implement your BI in a much more timely manner. Again, the critical kind of piece there is that you make sure that whoever you're working with really understands your business, and they've got all of the features in the business intelligence solution that are going to allow you to take that and start small, deliver quickly, but then you'll get to that big picture as you move forward, and really be able to take that solution, modify it, change it, enhance it to be exactly what your business needs. Even though we've got a lot of people, we're in the same business doing very, very similar things, as with different management styles, different geographic areas. There are lots of differences that come into how we're running our businesses. And so our BI solution needs to be able to be dynamic so that we can make it be what we need it to be. So hopefully that helps.
Very good. Very good. Two more quick questions here, and then I think we're going to wrap up. We run reports daily. Can you just elaborate how BI is different and what that could add on to in our company?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of times when I hear that, we've already got reports. We run them every day out of our back office system. Again, those are usually just the operational reports. A lot of times you're running really huge reports. You spend a lot of time going through that information to actually try and glean out the few pieces of information that you really need from that report. So again, a BI solution allows you to have the system really turn that data into information. And instead of having to log in and run those reports, again, you can have them scheduled, you can have them delivered to right into your email. So basically you get an email in the morning that says, all right, these are the things that you need to take care of. Here's the issues that we had yesterday or that are coming up that we need to take care of. So a BI solution is just so much more than having operational standard reports that we run every day.
Very good. And last question, can you just talk through the security risks and challenges that go into storing all this data in one location?
Yeah, security, again, like I mentioned earlier, we can spend hours talking just about the security, but it's one of the things that's very critical today. And there's a lot of things going on with business intelligence. There's a lot of solutions that they're putting all the data in a cloud. Some people are comfortable with that. Some people are not, depending on who your cloud provider is and where that data is. You've got to be really careful about what type of security is around that data. Some people want to have all their data, even though it's in a data warehouse, they feel much more comfortable having all that data in their own, on their own server where they've got control of that behind all their firewalls. So, I mean, there's lots of different things there, regardless of how you implement that, whether you're using, on-site servers, on-premises data, or you're using, cloud solutions. It's one of the things that you really need to review and discuss so that you're sure that all the steps are being taken to keep your data secure, because that's pretty key thing in today's world. So.
Very good. I just want to wrap up here. All your comments are coming to me, anyone that's on the webinar and that is typing comments. So thank you for your feedback. I just wanted to give a plug to you real quick, Rich, from Alex Diaz, essentially saying that they use Atlas for their business and just wanted to point out how quickly Rich and his staff gets back to them with all their questions, and just seems like overall very good experience for them. So just wanted, again, thank you everyone for getting on the call. We are having another one October 12th at 9 a.m. with Ad Systems again, and that is on tank monitoring. I encourage you to register for that. And thank you all for your time today. Rich, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Ted. And again, if you wouldn't mind sharing with anybody my contact information. Again, this isn't just a job for me. This is a passion. I love doing this, and I'm happy to have any discussions with anybody that may help you out with getting moving on business intelligence or solving any issues that you've got. So thanks again, everybody. Have an excellent day.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.